Let us review forceful practice instructions and then meditate like a Jedi. I would like to read a passage to you from Original Perfection, which is Keith Dowman's translation of the 5 Shastras of Prahe Vajra, known in Tibet as Gaurab Dorje. This is from the book. Let's see here. Let me do something real quick. This is from the 4th Shastra. Let's see here. Where's the pen? Okay. So let's explore the 3rd passage. Subtle and elusive, this universal path transcends thinking and non-thinking. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever thinking we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and less solid. It could feel as non-solid, as a vast empty void. Now, a good English teacher would remind you that a simile is only as effective as it is relatable. Therefore, we have to ask the question, what? What is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, feels non-graspable to the hand? And so we see that both no self and emptiness are just metaphors for the experience of non-graspability that is accessed effortlessly by relaxing in harmony with our exhalations, parasympathetic nervous system. Subtle and elusive, this universal path transcends thinking and non-thinking. So there is no need for us to repress thought. That does much more harm than good. And on the other side of the coin, there is absolutely no need for us to exhaust our brain with either superstitious belief or pseudo-intellectual mental gymnastics. My first teachers of both the Gelig and the Nyingma sect were just really big on contemplation. Imagine my surprise to learn that both Mahamudra and Dzogchen agree that such exertions are a waste of time and energy. Why? How could they say that? How else are we supposed to understand impermanence? And the answer is, you don't have to. You see it every day. Every day you see the changing of the seasons. You see the waxing and the waning of the moon. You see the rising and the setting of the sun. And even now we could rest our fingers gingerly upon our chest and feel it swell and sink and viscerally experience the impermanence of a breath. Ever-changing, one and all, there is nothing permanent to grasp. The more we practice authentic mindfulness and meditation, the more it becomes impossible not to notice change, not to experience empathy. The more we play with mindfulness and meditation, the more we cannot help but feel, but act kindly from our intention, with our speech, with our bodies, and even with our commerce. If you choose to acquire this book, please get it from a local bookseller. That is kind commerce. Jeff Bezos don't need no additional yacht. Without location or reference, indeterminate, it is beyond all ideation. So, back in the 90s, oy vey, so many undertrained meditation teachers stomped across the countryside insisting that mindfulness was concentrating on the here and the now. But the thing is, that's not mindfulness. That's concentration. Mindfulness is the opposite. Mindfulness is allowing our sympathetic nervous system to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. To notice whatever experience cartwheels across the stage of our mind. Whether it is a sight, a sound, a sensation, a flavor, a scent. Whether it is an emotion, an intention, a thought, a memory, or a figment of our imagination. Whether that which we experience is external, internal, physical, mental, pleasurable, painful, interesting, boring, glorious, or grotesque. Whatever. Complete vulnerability. There is a wonderful metaphor for this degree of vulnerability, naked awareness. When I first came across a book with that title, I thought, oh boy, it's time for naughty tantra. Imagine my disappointment when it turns out that wasn't about sexual tantra. That was a reference to complete vulnerability. Let's continue. Unutterable. It has no color or shape in a sensory field. Intangible and inscrutable, it is inexpressible. We are wired for figures of speech. We are wired to think symbolically. And I was listening to a lecture by the late Richard, I think was it Feynman? If I mispronounced his name, please correct me. But a great educator of physics. And he said that when it comes to subtlety, simile lets us down. Because there are certain things that can't be expressed or have difficulty being expressed. And so there is no need to force ourselves to explain or label our experience. It is entirely enough to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this every time we feel our chest swell with air, and to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb rest every time we feel our chest subtly sink as gently we exhale. Having explained this passage, I would like to now read it to you in its entirety. Subtle and elusive, this universal path transcends thinking and non-thinking. Without location or reference, indeterminate, it is beyond all ideation. Unutterable, it has no color or shape in a sensory field, intangible and inscrutable, it is inexpressible. All right. Having completed our opening instruction, let us take a moment to shift gears. It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday afternoon. At least it is here in Southern California. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Semde Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to meditate like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. The moment you have a specific question about Taoist or Buddhist or Dzogchen or Mahamudra, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions every 5 minutes or so. What is the essence of mindfulness? To silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this each time we feel air enter our nostrils. What is the essence of meditation? To silently and mentally recite the verb rest each time we feel air exit those self-same nostrils. The free fall, let's try that again, the free fall of meditation can trigger the controlling tendencies that we were conditioned to acquiesce to in this capitalist hellscape. There is an easy solution. I recommend practicing a version of Bengali crease counting. Here's how we do that. We could begin by touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. This is how we will keep track of our first set of 16 inhalations. Every time we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we could advance our right thumb up the creases and tips of its 4 fingers, beginning with the little finger. Together as a team, let us do that right now. Having run out of places upon my right hand upon which to place my right fingertip, it's time to advance the left thumb up to the second set of creases on its little finger. And now you get the basic idea that we could use our left hand to count 16 sets of 16 inhalations each. Doing so could take about 20 minutes. Now, what if you want to meditate for a little more than 40 or a little more than 60 minutes? Simple. In addition to counting inhalations, in addition to counting sets, we count collections. We could keep track of our first collection of 16 sets of 16 inhalations by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. After about 20 minutes or so, we could advance the right middle finger and rest its middle knuckle upon the left, the tip of the left middle finger, to keep track of our second collection of 16 sets of 16 inhalations. And you guessed it. After 40 minutes or so, we may advance our right middle finger until its upper knuckle comes to rest upon the tip of our left middle finger, thus helping us keep track of our third collection of 16 sets of 16 inhalations. Do you feel a little overwhelmed? The antidote to overwhelm is repetition. Join me every 12 hours or so. And within a week or two, you can master this path. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have, if you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 3.5 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's fourth session of meditating like a Jedi. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.